Everyone put on your headsets. Get ready for takeoff. Close your mouths. Open your ears. And the Seltzer King has arrived.
Wow.
Johnny with a trolley. Johnny with a trolley.
Johnny? Crazy, right? We said half an hour, it was 26 minutes, bro. Johnny?
Johnny, whoops.
Wow.
Ellie, I just have a new level of respect for you.
You know,
Good call.
it's so rare on a Thursday night for a bunch of guys to get together and then to sit for most of that time in silence. Like, it's so rare. Who does that kind of stuff? Not too many people do it. So there must be something about it if you're coming here and doing that. Or maybe you have nothing else to do, I don't know. Maybe you're running away from home. Who knows? Maybe you're searching for something. Are you searching for something? Yeah. Okay. So, gentlemen, I want to take you on a little journey. For me, the journey started probably about 2 months ago. And something about the completion just happened in the last 24 hours. So tonight I'm inviting you into a personal journey of mine. And do you believe everything happens for a reason? Because I do. And a lot of life is never giving up on finding that reason. Tonight, we are going to explore something that seems a bit contradictory. Because it says, there's a quote, just say it. Leihayu yamim toivim liYisrael, kachamisha asar ba'av, keyayim haKippurim. There were no holier days for the Jewish people than the 15th of Av, which happens on Shabbos this year, and Yom Kippurim. You're on the wrong channel, buddy. Yeah, it's beautiful. And this day comes right after the lowest point of the calendar, which is Tisha B'Av, which we just experienced this past Sunday. And Tisha B'Av has always been known to be a very sad day for the Jewish people throughout history. And then through that, a birth of something that's said to be the happiest day of the year, the holiest day. So that's what we're going to be exploring tonight. We're not just going to conceptualize it, because I'm going to tell you a story that's going to tie everything together. So have a little patience. And the opportunity of tonight, the theme of tonight, is transformation. And I hope that if you tune in, you realize that we are stuck right in the center of Tisha B'Av and the 15th of Av. And that process, if you tune in energetically, is the possibility of transformation in your own lives. So that's what the opportunity is. So my bet is that every single person here came because they're looking for some sort of transformation in their life. I bet I'm right about it. What we're also going to go through is understanding the prophecy, which in life you have to have something to look forward to. So it's going to be transformational. It's going to be experiencing some of the consciousness of Mashiach, which is already happening in the world if you're tuning in. So we're going to take off our headsets and we're going to learn a little. We'll see where it goes. Love those. So good. Just, Nachman, can I connect to that?
So we
What? Are you connected?
How's it going? Good. Good.
Stay with me. Okay, guys.
Father's at Olive Branch tonight? Does he work there?
Okay, guys, stay with me here. Stay with me. No olive branch talk right now. We're gonna keep it clean. So, like this. So there's this holiday called Tu B'Av. We just talked about it a little bit, and just on the surface, what happens on the 15th of every month is we have a full moon. Do you guys know about that? You're aware? Weird story. I was getting a colonic this week. It's just to clean the hydrocolonic, where they like shove water into your system and you get rid of all the stuff inside. And so the clinician said to me, you know, it's a good time to get rid of parasites as we come into a full moon on the 15th or whatever. And I was like, this message is coming from like out of left field, but the full moon there's something special about the full moon, the 15th of the month. The question is, what's special about the 15th of this month that no other month has? Because there are other months with 15, but we say this 15 represents something very powerful. And that's why it says, we are told, Chazal told us that the 15th of this month is equal in holiness to Yom Kippur. Now that's kind of wild if you think about it. Nobody understands what the day is even about. I'm sure for some people it's actually the first time you ever heard about this day even. Like, are there some people, come on, be honest, let's just get vulnerable. Did somebody not know what Tu B'Av is coming in here tonight? Like, it's okay to say, there you go. There you go. Okay, yeah. We're not looking for flexing right now. We're looking for humility. Let's do this. Come on. Anybody? Do you know what Tu B'Av is? Like what this day is? You never heard about this day? Whatever.
Was it not the time for Shiva thing?
Exactly, but nobody, how do you prepare for that? What is it all about? What's going down? Nobody knows. So a day that nobody prepares for, nobody understands till this day, equal to Yom Kippur, the day of forgiveness, connection, coming back to who you really are, a complete transformational process of me on Yom Kippur is like everything's forgiven, everything's let go. That sort of holiness is on Tu B'Av. So, for one, the Rebbe explains in this discourse, he says, there's a couple explanations that we have to understand what actually took place on Tu B'Av. So if we go back in history, it was the first day that the Jews stopped dying in the Midbar. So what would happen every Tisha B'Av for 40 years. They dug their graves because once you hit 60, you had to automatically die. You weren't able to live past 60. So they would dig their graves and they would go on Tisha B'Av and lie in their graves and finished. And that happened for 40 years straight. Every single year they would go, they would dig their graves. So Tu B'Av was...
The reason they dug their graves was because they sinned at the golden calf. So instead of God wiping them out right away, He said, I'll kill you off slowly until the next generation can come in. But you can't get into the land of Israel. So every year, they would dig their graves, and every year they were playing Russian roulette in the sense that it could be they woke up the next morning, it could be they died.
Yeah.
And that was on one day of the year.
What?
That was on which day?
On Tisha B'Av, but on Tu B'Av is when they stopped dying. So that was the first time that was, it represented something. Now, things happen in history, like we think Tisha B'Av, the first bad thing that happened was the Beis HaMikdash. Everyone knows the two Beis HaMikdash were destroyed. But it went back much earlier. It's when the spies came back with a negative report about Israel. And that's when they died. There was a lot going on energetically on that day already. So the day held a certain energy already, which means that energy is not just tied to the spies. It was always meant to be like that, and it came out in a revealed way, which means also there's something for us to energetically on each day tap into. So what's being celebrated after Tisha B'Av, a day like that, and they stop dying? Okay, they stop dying, I get it. But and the short answer is, but we're gonna go through it, is what the 15th of represented was what's called the light that comes from the darkness. In practical terms, it's when I go through a challenge in life, and I really go through a challenge in life, and I experience the challenge, it's the coming out of the challenge. That there's something about coming out of challenges in life, when we do, that's much greater than just going and achieving and doing things. It's through the struggle that a certain power and energy can be harnessed. And I want to, again, make it really practical. So, and it's crazy because here the Rebbe is saying this. He says, what's the day of Tu B'Av? It's not just that good things happen, but the good became visible. The good became visible. So, here's the story. The story is like this. 2 months ago, maybe more, I was on my way to a trip to New York, and I got stopped at the border. And I was denied access to the U.S. border, through the U.S. border. For whatever reasons, we can talk about it. And I missed out on something I was planning for, a certain training, and then a workshop that I wanted to go to. And I was like, okay, like, fine. I'm not meant to be there. Like, that's something I can handle. That's something I can take. But then life started getting very real. And if I don't get across the U.S. border, I'm going to start missing bigger things in life. Because Nachman's son had a wedding, and I missed the wedding. And then the day of his wedding, L'chaim, Mazal Tov. And the day of his wedding, my whole family was in New York, but me, obviously. I'm here, sitting in my room, and I get a phone call that my daughter is ready to get engaged to the guy that she is dating. and that she's dating. Now, what does that mean? That means that she needs to go to the oil. She needs to go to the Rebbe's graveside, and you seal the deal. That means, wait a second, you know what that means? That means I'm not going to be there. Shh. Wow. That's going to be a painful one. So that's where I go. That's where I go. I go into a lot of deep pain. So in a certain sense, for me, I went into a Tisha B'Av moment. What's a Tisha B'Av moment? You had this whole vision of what could be. There was a Beis HaMikdash. There was a tremendous experience of having God's light revealed in the world. Life was amazing. Life was glamorous. And then all of a sudden, what happens? It comes crashing down. Everything that you dreamed of, your own Beis HaMikdash, your own creation of how you believed life should have been. That's what the Beis HaMikdash is. The Beis HaMikdash represents how you believed life should have been. Because that's how it is. That's how life is supposed to be. And it comes crashing down. And so what do? Well, when you go into a Tisha B'Av moment, you're supposed to mourn. You're supposed to feel sad. You're supposed to get into the misery of the day. So you create all sorts of rituals around that to really feel it, or to try to at least insert yourself in that process. And we all have Tisha B'Av moments in our lives, the things that we expected, how we wanted things to work out. And then they come crashing down. And so the story continues that she went to the Rebbe's graveside. She did her thing, and I wasn't there. And then, because everyone was already there, you have to do the engagement in New York, because it just makes sense. All the families are there. It's all, everyone's getting together. Let's do this. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is way too much for me. Like I can't handle this stuff. So I just I wasn't giving up. I was trying to pull different angles, calling different people on the other side of the border to just try to figure something out. Oh, if you go in, my lawyer said that it's going to ruin the chances of you getting accepted to be able to cross the border, so don't test anything, don't do anything. Then my friend calls me. He's a Hasidic guy. He says, okay, hey, I have a connection at the border. Just drive to the border. Just trust me, drive to the border. So I get in my car. I said, what do I have to lose? I'm literally sitting by myself doing nothing. What do I have to lose? So I drive to the border. And I sit by the border, waiting for his call, waiting for something to happen. Like 15 minutes. And why? Because I'm going to go to Buffalo. The plan is I'm going to go to Buffalo. And I'm going to take that flight, get to New York. I'm going to get there right in time. And I'm going to show up. And I have this whole vision of how it's going to turn out. And I'm like, I'm thinking this is going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. And it's this whole build up, and I'm sitting by the border 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And it's like each flight is going to the next, and I'm got my assistant saying, like, you better be ready to book that flight. Like, you gotta wait because we're gonna book it. And then it didn't work out. And I got in my car and I drove back home. And yeah, I know you're feeling it. It's good. And then the Tisha B'Av moment started, because the Tisha B'Av moment was, okay, so, and for me it felt like a certain two Beis HaMikdash. This was a monumental moment, going to the Rebbe, being by your daughter's, the time that she's getting engaged, like to be there for her, and that gets smashed. That whole oh my gosh, like it's so heartbreaking. And then a second time you go, and it's so heartbreaking. The second time, the engagement, like really, the two Beis HaMikdash. That's what it felt like. It felt like my whole world was destroyed. So then the Tisha B'Av moment started. Because what's the Tisha B'Av moment? It's mourning the life that you knew was supposed to be, that you dreamed, that you longed for. The ideal connection. Everything's just working out. Things are flowing. Things are moving. Everyone's doing their part. People are playing their role. There's a sense of oneness in the community. Everything feels good. It's how it's supposed to be. You're getting God's divine light. It's like everything's there. It's like when you go home and you feel like life is so good. Like when you're in a relationship with the person that you love or your kids and things are just flowing and moving. Life is just so good. Everything's possible. And then there's these big moments and they come crashing down. And those moments have so much power to be revealed from them. More than you can ever imagine. So the power of Tisha B'Av is revealed on Tu B'Av, which is when the full moon comes out, when the light is revealed of what is happening over here, what's really happening over here. Famous story of, in the Gemara of Rabbi Akiva, that Rabbi Akiva, they're walking and they see that the Beis Hamikdash was being burned and destroyed, and then a fox came out, and then Rabbi Akiva's laughing. Why is he laughing? The Beis Hamikdash is being destroyed, it's on fire. And he said that the prophecy is coming true. And through the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, God must build a bigger Beis Hamikdash. He must build a stronger one. And so he was laughing from a place of what's coming from this. He was a holy guy. He saw in that moment. Not everyone in that moment could just jump away from the pain.
In the darkness, he saw the light already.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it says on
Wow. You could all do it. He gave us
Chaim.
in his credit to do it.
He gave us this credit.
And me and you could do that.
And that's why they tell a story. That's why we have the story.
Well, exactly.
He knew the prophecy.
What?
He knew the prophecy, so when he saw it, he put it together. He connected the dots.
But the other rabbis, it's also knew the prophecy.
But they didn't connect the dots at the moment. They didn't get that.
Yeah, he did connect the dots, and he gave us such a power in that moment. He gave the whole class that anytime you're going through a hard thing, see the light. Yeah.
So, to continue, thanks for listening. No, it's giving me a good time to recalibrate. The Rebbe goes then and he explains that there's a connection of Tisha B'Av to Mashiach. It says that Mashiach is born on Tisha B'Av. It says, Noiled Mashiach b'Tisha B'Av. Mashiach is born on Tisha B'Av. So the Rebbe explains in the Maimaris, it doesn't mean Mashiach the man, but the concept of redemption actually starts right in the heart of destruction. You would have just said redemption happens in the heart of destruction. And Rabbi Akiva was able to say, he could laugh, he could go there. So when the Beis Hamikdash was being destroyed, there was a cow that was mooing, and a non-Jew told his friend, that moo means the Beis Hamikdash was just destroyed. Then the cow mooed again, and he said, and now the Mashiach of the Jews has been born. It's a story. From the very beginning of the fall, the future rebuilding is already happening. Now, the way the Rebbe explains is, imagine someone knocked down a building. You ever see a guy knocking down a building? What is the purpose of knocking down a building? Why do you ever knock down a building? Why does someone ever knock down a house or a building? What's it for? Ultimately, to rebuild a new one. So it can't be that the master contractor is knocking down a building or letting a building being knocked down if there isn't an intention to rebuild it. Okay, fine, that's a nice word. Like, good for you. Like, okay, so let's just keep on destroying things and hurting people and going through pain, and that's going to make us better because there's a bright future that's going to come from this, right? You all feel that? Feels good? So it's not enough. It's not enough for someone to just believe that in the Khurban was the Geula, that in the destruction was the redemption. It's not enough. Do you guys agree? I mean,
what does that even mean? What do you mean it's not enough?
it's not enough for me to just know that.
Okay, so what else do I need?
Ah, good. Fine. Thank you for asking. I thought you'd never ask. So, first the Rebbe takes it in a different direction. The Rebbe says that, so why isn't Tisha B'Av a holiday? If it's ultimately when Mashiach is born, why don't we celebrate Tisha B'Av as a holiday? And the answer is because Tu B'Av is when that concept was revealed. Like we said, the people stopped dying on that day. That's funny, Mac, to you? Like, wow. I guess, yeah, it is actually funny. Cheers.
Mac, you're a good man. You're funny.
So, Matt, can I continue my story, or you want to laugh us out? You want to get out? You just want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, that was good. Thank you. Next.
There's more coming.
So, yep, we'll get there. So here we go. Should we do Niggin? You just said we should do it. Yeah? Yeah, let's do a Niggin. Yeah, let's. Wow, beautiful. Hoff, you're saying good. So, imagine that after what I experienced, someone said to me, "Hey buddy, you know the light that's going to come out of this experience? You know the amazing positive energy that's going to come out of you missing those two pivotal moments in your daughter's life? You know how amazing it's going to be after that?" I'm not hearing that. I'm not interested. That's not even relevant. But then the Rebbe shares something. He says, and I'm literally telling you, I have lived through this mimer. Rebbe shares that he says if the Meraglim didn't sin, Moshe would have brought the Jewish people into Eretz Yisrael. There would have been only one Beis Hamikdash, built by Moshe, never destroyed, game over. That would have been it. The whole idea that we have the concept of a third Beis Hamikdash was that the Meraglim came out with that report and there was a breakdown. It broke something open into the world, something more. So, Tu B'Av, the day that the dying stopped, that it became revealed because of the full moon, is the day the hidden future starts to reveal itself. Now the Rebbe says, this is where I'm up to my story, he says a very deep line. He says, one day when Mashiach comes, we're going to look back and say the following: now I understand why we had to cry on Tisha B'Av. Just hear the line. We're going to look back and we're going to say, now I understand why I had to cry on Tisha B'Av. Not just because it ended well, but because the crying itself is part of the transformation. So I'm driving back from the border. I don't know what's so funny about that. But I am driving back from the border and I start crying. I start bawling my eyes out. And it's not a funny part of the story, Mac. You can just hold the laugh in, have some restraint, and just listen. And I start crying literally just the whole way for I don't know, what is it, an hour and a half? I'm just crying the whole way back home, just going at it. And you know, when you're in pain, you start to you don't want to deal with it, so you start to put it on other people. Or try to blame people or get angry because you don't want to make it about yourself or have to face something yourself. So of course I was thinking that I was angry at my wife, why is she doing this? Why is she making this happen? In reality, everything just needed to happen this way. That's the reality. And I didn't want to accept that. And I didn't accept it literally till the last moment that I came back. But there's something that happened when I was driving home and I was crying, I was reaching parts of the depths of my soul. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to sell you something here or dramatize something. I was wailing. I've never cried this much. I don't think the last time I cried this much was, by the way, the reason I'm sharing all this is because I have this coach and he tells me, you got to start sharing stuff. You got to start just sharing your story. Just don't hold back. So that's what I'm sharing. And something, as I dropped into the crying and I was experiencing it and I was feeling it, that felt like it was so much energy. Something lifted. I just felt it. I felt something lifted from inside of me. I was just let a deep emotion go to the full extent, and I was by myself and I just let it rip. So comes, I get home, crack open a bottle of wine by myself, and I get on this video, watching my daughter's l'chaim on a video. Can you believe that? And seeing this girl who's smiling ear to ear, like just so happy, so like you can't even imagine. And so I'm like getting into it, I'm feeling that because I said something lifted. And I just laid down on the couch and I was like looking at the video and I was just breathing into it because it was like bring up heavy, intense emotion. It's not bad, but just like and I start breathing deeper, and then I close my eyes and I start to see her whole life. I start to see when she's 2, when she's 3, 4, 5, like this whole thing. And I said, I want to be there for this girl for her whole life, to be there and to have her experience this amazing life. And I'm just breathing until that day, and she's smiling, and I said, wait a second. It just hit me. It just locked in that moment. You did that. You did that. That's why she can smile today. That's why she's, look what you did. Look what you built. And so she leaves like whatever it was on, I was watching, and then I got off. Finishes the l'chaim, and she was off. She went to Kilimanjaro. She did a trip. I didn't even see her when she got engaged. And then I had to wait another 11 days to give this girl a hug after she gets engaged. This is all happening like some border blockage. Just like I can't get into Eretz Yisrael. Like the spies, like there's some sort of breakdown. I'm literally feeling like I'm living through the parsha. I'm living through everything. And she leaves, and then he goes off. I don't even meet my future son-in-law, just on FaceTime. I never even met the guy. Are you crazy? See you later. He goes off to Ukraine. I'm just sitting there and just, okay. And then she comes home after a whole experience in Kilimanjaro. She was so proud of herself, and she's so good, and she crushed it. And it was like such a proud moment, but that's a side note. And then she came in, and then she hugged me, and then boom, it just burst. The tears just started flowing. It was like so much intense emotions. It's just like your system can't handle it. Just has that. And that moment, right there in that moment, you will never, ever, ever be able to recreate that moment of deep connection. And it all happened through some form of pain and darkness that I had to go through. Because you can only know the value of the connections that you have if it's tested. If you lose something, if you're challenged. So it ends up being such a strong and powerful, painful experience. It gives birth to something more, something deeper. Turns out this Shabbos is Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av. Well, what do you know? Hashem orchestrated a divine meetup. This is the first Shabbos I'm meeting my son-in-law on this holy day. the day that is known for Shidduchim, the day that all the revelations come out. So I said this one last line to them, and I met him for the first time today. Can you believe it? I'm here, this is fresh. And I said to him, I said to him and my daughter that I had a desire to have a simcha at Yer L'chaim, and that simcha wasn't able to come out. But that simcha is still there. And by the wedding, it's going to come out. It's just going to release itself like a wild animal. But it can only happen in a month. And it can only happen if sometimes God gives you challenges and you see that those challenges are actually sometimes the biggest blessings in your life. So, thank you for tuning in to my transformative experience and holding space for me. Oh, so thank you. No, that was so on point. You know why? You know why it's so on point? Because I just got news from my lawyer today, the day that I meet my son-in-law, the day that it's the Shabbos, the collection of the Revelation, which is Tu B'Av, which is the 15th of Av, that I could go down tomorrow, grab my stuff, go to the border, do the last step, and I'm in. So that all happened right now. And this is the completion of the story, transformation. This is a story of transformation, but this is my story of being connected to the time, and Hashem just was so, he just showed it to me. He gave it to me. And now it's my job to integrate the messages, to be able to, without the pain, to be able to appreciate what we have as people. And when you're going through something painful, work it out. Because on the other side of it, yes, there's so much light. And if I had to sum it up, Hashem is really giving us all pain because He wants to get closer to us. Now, you can't tell someone who's going through a painful experience that, but that's your mission to find it. Chaim. Thanks for listening. Should we do a meditation? Yeah, let's do a meditation. Okay, chicken break and the meditation, go. You can turn it off from Nachman. What?